Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. So as you can see, the 4-hour setup looks a bit different today because in my opinion this no longer works as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. Yesterday we did not even get to my 5th wave target, which was at about 61.6 cents, and the price already started going down, meaning that it's probably not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, but instead it could be following what we are doing on the Bitcoin chart, which would make sense. So let's quickly go back to the ADA chart right here. It seems to be some kind of maybe much bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and if that's the case, this is probably an ABC structure for the third wave, and the next target for the third wave is gonna have to be at about 64.4 cents, but you have to understand, even if that is the case, it's still not looking too good because here we have a very bad looking 1-2 setup, and we did get a reaction to the 618 right there almost, but as you can see, we already dropped quite a lot in this supposed second wave move down, meaning that if we do not get a bounce right now and we start a much bigger third wave of a 1-2, it could easily turn into some kind of maybe ABC structure with an overshooting B wave for the much bigger B wave right there. And as long as we stay above 53.2 cents, I think we are fine, but breaking below that level would suggest that maybe this C wave to the downside is not completed and we're gonna turn it into a much bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, which could even put us at about 48.9 cents, which is my new target for the fifth wave because this supposed fourth wave to the downside got another high, so the target had to be readjusted. So you can expect the price to get in this area and then hopefully get a bounce, but to confirm that we're not gonna get a fifth wave to the downside, what we need to do is get a bounce right now and then hopefully get to around 64.4 cents, which is the target for the C wave of this AB structure. That should complete the much bigger third wave. We could then get an ABC to the downside for the fourth wave move down, and only after we respect the support zone after that, and only after we get the fifth wave, I'm gonna be able to tell you that maybe something more bullish is going on, because this fifth wave to the upside is probably gonna put us above this high right here, and maybe even above that high right there. And if we break out of this downtrend completely, it's probably gonna be a confirmation that the low is in, and we are not going to need to wait for an ABC to the downside to confirm that the low is in, because the price is already gonna be high enough. But that's pretty much it about the short term. Like I said, if we want to confirm that something more bullish is going on, we have to get to 64.4 cents. And to do that, right here on the RSI, we have to break back above the moving average there, and hopefully, if we do, this could be used as support when we go down again. And then we could get to the overbought territory right here, finish the much bigger third wave, and then start going down in the fourth wave. So we'll see if this plays out, but for the time being, I am short-term bearish because the Bitcoin chart is still expected to get to around $98,000, which is the 1618 target for this entire AB structure. So until we get to these levels and until we actually close at the trend line on the weekly RSI right there, I'm not gonna be able to confirm that the low is in because, like I mentioned way too many times already, we have to close at the trend line because that's exactly what happened every single time we had a correction on the cycle. So I don't think this time is gonna be any different. I think we're gonna still get to it. And right now, if you look at the RSI, it's currently at about 46, which means that we don't really have to drop to $98,000 to actually get to the trend line. I think dropping to about $100,000 is gonna be enough, but if we actually want Bitcoin to get a move above the bull market support band in the next couple of weeks, we kind of have to close at the trend line right here, and to do that, we kind of have to stay, let's say, between $102,000 and $100,000. So I'm not really going to care if we do not get to $98,000 as long as we actually manage to get a 5-wave move to the upside. But if we do not get this 5-wave move to the upside, then I think getting another low is still likely. And even if we get a 5-wave move to the upside, you have to understand it's probably gonna put us above the bull market support band, and after that we're gonna complete a much bigger first, meaning we're gonna need an ABC, and that's gonna act as a rejection of the bull market support band. We kind of need to get rejected by the bull market support band because that's pretty much exactly what happened back in this area, and even right there, and even before, right here in 2023. I do have to say that on the RSI right now, on the daily, we are still above the moving average right there, and we seem to be bouncing off the moving average, which could be a good start. So if we manage to actually stay above that moving average, and if we manage to get a move to the bull market support band, I think we are going to be able to complete that 5-wave move to the upside and hopefully get above the bull market support band. But moving on to the weekly chart, on the Cardano chart, I still have to mention that we are not at the trend line yet, and there is always going to be a chance that we get to the trend line before we finally start a much bigger move to the upside, because that's exactly what happened back in this area, and that's exactly what happened back there as well. Speaking of this area, as you can see here, we got to the trend line after we formed a higher low over here, meaning that we could do the exact same thing right now. So this week could be compared to maybe this week, meaning that right now the price might go lower for the next couple of weeks, and during that time we can get to the trend line, and that's what's gonna give us a move like that over there. So we'll see if this plays out like this, but for the time being, I'm not really bullish because we do not really have a 5-week move to the upside. Just a reminder that the structure that we are in right here on the Bitcoin chart on the weekly looks very similar to what we did back in 2017, because in this cycle we had a touch of the exact same trend line about 4 times on the RSI, and that's pretty much exactly what happened back in this area. As you can see, after we tested the trend line for a 4th time right here, the price went to all-time highs, and only after we broke below the trend line when we tested it for a 5th time, that's when the bear market started, meaning that right now if we were to do the exact same thing, we would have to first, test it for a 4th time, and then we're gonna have to get a move to the upside, which could even put us at the trend line right here. And after we get rejected there, and after Bitcoin breaks above all-time highs yet again, that's when we go into a bear market, because we're gonna test the trend line for a 5th time, and we're probably gonna break below it. So this is how I see this cycle playing out, and if it does play out the exact same way, I think there is a chance that during the bear market we get to the oversold territory on the weekly, and that could be a very good buying opportunity, because here, for example, when we got to the oversold territory, that pretty much confirmed that the low was in, and that's what gave us another move to the upside, or new all-time highs. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.